Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're all doing okay and having a great day and an amazing week. My name is Effie and today we are doing the final palette testing video of 2023. Can you believe it? I know I've done a lot, especially in the last 2 months, but today we are testing the Beautybay Love Notes palette. This is not a new palette at all. In fact, I don't actually think you can get this anymore. However, I did buy it quite a while ago when it came out, and I know that a lot of other people bought it, so I'm just going to do a testing video on it anyway, so that if you see it in my collection you're not like, wait, where did that come from? So we're going to test this. I do have a few other bits to test. I have some lip products to test. I have a Made by Mitchell Blursh shade that I've never tested before, and I have something else that you can't buy anymore. This is the Zoeva Sweet Glamour palette. I got it in TK Maxx literally probably about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. You definitely cannot get it anymore, but it's been sat in my to test drawer and I would have given it away, but I stupidly swatched it. But I think it'll go well with the palette, so we're going to use it today and see how I like it. And also we're going to completely kind of glow up a little bit. My hair is a mess. I washed it last night. It's not straight. I'm going to straighten it at the end of the video so that we get a whole look, so please don't be disturbed that this is how I look at the start of the video. I promise I'll look better by the end of it. But other than that, if that sounds interesting to you, then please do just keep on watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up a video every Saturday and it is always makeup related, so if that sounds interesting to you, then please do just keep on watching. I am currently thinking about what makeup I'm going to test next year, so if you have anything that you want me to test in the new year, please do drop it in a comment down below and I will look into it for you. But other than that, let's go on with the video. I have just zoomed you in because we're going to start with the eyes. I'm going to point out right now that my eyes are a little bit puffy and a little bit swollen. There's a bit of lash glue still stuck on them. Plenty of reasons for this. The lash glue because I filmed yesterday and wore lashes. The puffiness because I honestly didn't sleep very well last night and I also cried last night. It's nothing major. We all cry from time to time. I was just missing my nan and I had a bit of a cry about it. We're not going to harp on it, I'm fine, I just get sad sometimes, it's okay, but that does mean that my eyes are just a little bit puffy today. I am hoping they will go down throughout this video, but if you're wondering if my eyes look weird, they do, but it's fine. So we're going to start with eye base, and it's going to be the Beautybay eye base in shade 2. If we're testing a Beautybay palette, might as well use the Beautybay eye base. Eye base is on. This is the palette. I love the packaging, I think it's stunning. I'm not going to lie, when I first saw this palette on Beautybay, I wasn't that interested in it. It's a very pretty palette, but I think the pictures they had online made it look very, very pale, and to be honest it is very pale. There are a lot of pale shades in here, and I just wasn't that interested in it. However, I think they had it on sale for these normally are 15, 20 pounds, something like that, and they had it on sale for 50% off, so I picked it up. They don't sell this anymore. This is one of their limited edition palettes. I have quite a few of these already. I have Wilderness, Age of Opulence, Sunset Horizons, New Mood, Dark Fantasy, and now this one. So I now have 6 of them. I love these. The formula is always really good. The shimmers are always way better in my opinion than their other palettes. The mattes are always really pigmented and really nice. I just wasn't particularly interested in this palette when I first saw it. In person, I think it looks really nice. I do still think there are too many pale shades. These two lilacs are pretty much the same. There's quite a lot of pale pinks. There's really I'm not going to complain about this shade because it'd be really good for blending out. And I do think the paler shades will be really good for blending out. And it does have some depth to it with these two and the brown, but not loads. I kind of wish there was a touch more depth to it. However, if you are looking for a purple palette from Beautybay, the Midnight's palette is really good. If you're looking for a pinky palette, the Berries palette is really good. I also think Age of Opulence is really good, and they did have one called New Romantic or something like that that was a pinky palette. They were both limited edition. I don't have the New Romantic one. I kind of wish I had collected these from the start because I really wish I had the Book of Magic and I really wish I had the New Romantic, but I don't. So we're going to swatch quickly 2 mattes, 2 shimmers as always. I'm going to go, my look today is going to be purpley pink, so I'm going to try and avoid the shades I think I'm going to use today. So for the mattes we're going to go for Ruby and we're going to go for Cheeks. Okay. And for the shimmers, which is obviously what I'm excited about, I don't know which shimmers I'm going to use today, so I'm just going to go for 2 random ones. We're going to go for Pillow, because that looks stunning. Ooh, that is stunning. And I'm going to go for confetti because it looks a little bit different. Okay. They look really, really nice. I kind of went for all pinks. That wasn't on purpose. But let's swatch them on my hand. There they are on my hand. Those shimmers are stunning. I love the shimmer formula in these £20 palettes. I think they are £20 palettes. I will say sometimes they put like putty formulas or flaky formulas in here. They're not my favourite. But they always look stunning and they do always work. They just sometimes take a little bit more effort. The mattes are obviously very pigmented. Let's put it on my face. Like I said, I'm going to do purple and pink. I'm going to start with the darkest shade, which is Glove. That shade has gone on really, really nicely. It's very pigmented. I did have to pack quite a bit on and there is a little bit of fallout on my face, but I don't think it's that bad considering how much I packed on the product. I was starting to worry that it was going a little bit patchy, but it wasn't. I just simply wasn't packing enough of it on. And once I packed it on, it doesn't look patchy at all, which is really good considering the depth of the shade, really. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Lilac, which is a beautiful lilac shade. And also, just a note on the sort of like pastel shades that are in here, I do have the Beauty Bay Pastels palette. I don't use it very often because I simply forget I have it, but I do find that the pastels in that palette are pigmented and do show up on my skin tone, which is really good because I've had pastels in other palettes that simply do not show up and they don't do anything. So I know that Beauty Bay have a good formula when it comes to these lighter shades anyway. Okay, I might have spoke a little bit too soon on the pastel shades. I can see it on my skin. I don't think it's blending with the purple very well. It's sort of just sitting on top of the purple. That may change when I go through and reblend my shades, which I always do. And I really hope it does change and it does fix that. But right now, I'm not massively impressed with that lilac shade. And now we're going to start switching to our pinks, and I'm going to go for this shade here called Flush. I will say, if that lilac shade doesn't really work too well, what I will do when I go back through and blend is just cover it with this slightly darker pink and just go purple straight into pink. I actually quite like that shade. On camera, I don't think you can see it too well because unfortunately just on camera, everything gets a little bit washed out. Hopefully when I edit it, you can see it and it's just my monitor being a bit weird. But right now, I am liking it. I'm not loving it, which is strange for me because I normally love these palettes. But we're going to go in with our final matte shade, which is going to be this super pale pink up here called Angel. That is a super pale, almost like got a bit of a cool tone to it pink. I am not currently loving this look, which is so disappointing because I genuinely love these Beauty Bay palettes. And I think the formula is still really nice. I just think the shades are too pale. And part of that will simply be because I am used to doing colourful looks. If I were to go for a pink and purple look, it would be much brighter than this, and I would probably only use one pastel shade to blend out the edges, but majority of it would be bright colours, and this obviously isn't that. I'm going to go through and blend it and try and make it a bit better. I think what I'm going to do is pull the darker purple a bit further into my eye and try and make it a bit better, sort of turn it into more of a smoky eye. I was trying to sort of keep the darker colours to the outer edge, but I think making it a smoky eye would make me feel a bit better, so I'm going to do that. I'm sure you'll see as I blend it through. Let's all hope it gets better, trust the process sort of situation. I think I've done as much blending as I reasonably can. I'll be honest, I'm not loving this look. Like, I like it and I like the colours. They're just not working in the way I personally want them to. And I can't really tell you why. Like, they are blending. I think part of it is I just wish that they had more pigment. But obviously they're pastel shades, so they're not meant to have loads of pigment. But I'm just not loving them. I also think they look better in person than they do on camera. That is something I'm going to say adamantly. I think part of it is I wish the pinks were a little bit more pigmented, which there is a pink that is more pigmented in the palette, but I don't want to use it because I still want the purple to show through. Maybe I should just use a little bit of that pink. Just a really small amount, just in between the pinks and the purples. Let me grab a brush and see what I can do. I feel like this is going to be one of those looks where I just keep fiddling with it until it looks terrible. And then I will take it off and this video will never see the light of day. So I'm going to go in with a tiny bit of the shade Handkerchief, which is realistically the darkest pink without going for like this dark maroony red. And I'm just going to try and slot that in between the shade Lilac and the shade Flush. I actually do think that's helped. I don't know how much you can tell on camera, I don't know if it's my monitor or the camera, but you can't really see the pinks on my eyes because they're just so washed out. But I genuinely do think that shade Handkerchief has just helped ever so slightly. I'm going to stop fiddling with it and hope that I just like this look by the end of the video. And what will help with that is covering my lid in a beautiful, beautiful shimmer. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. And I already know I'm going to use this shade here called Spark. I might top it with a little bit of Princess because that has a little bit of a bluer shift. And then I'm going to use Pillow on my inner corner just because I like the look of these shades. So we're going to start with Spark. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous shade. I've pretty much covered all of that dark purple shade with it just because I think that it adds a bit more to the look to have my entire lid shimmery, and I've even taken it right up into my crease just because I really want the focus to be on the pretty shimmer and not the not very good mattes that I've used. Now I'm going in with that shade Princess and I'm just going to pop it on top. Again, another absolutely stunning shade. I think it just helped to lighten up that first shimmer a little bit. And now the shade Pillow just on my inner corner. That's a really pretty shade. It did take a little bit more building up. I think it's just the brush I used wasn't the best, but it's the only one I had in my hand. Now what I'm going to do, finally, is go off camera, clean up my fallout because I do have a little bit of it, catch up my other eye, hope that I come back liking this look a bit more, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the palette, and then we will run through my base on camera, sped up with music over the top, only stopping to really talk about new products that I'm testing. So yeah, I'll see you in a moment. I am back, I am evened up. Thoughts on the palette? I don't love it. I do like it. Like, I like the look I've got. Like, it went better on this eye. I think part of the reason it went better on this eye is because I packed the purple shade all over my lid to start off with and then worked outwards from there. I also went in with this slightly brighter pink as I went instead of adding it in at the end. I also wet the shimmers using the Beauty Crop Glow Milk Mini Mist, Set and Seal and Set Mist, whatever it is. And that sort of made the shimmers pack on a little bit better. I then went back in on this eye and packed on a bit more shimmer as well. I also used it on my inner corner highlight, which I have accidentally removed. I went and removed all my fallout and accidentally took that off too, but I will put that back on when I've done my base. I do like it. First things first, I don't think this palette would work for darker skin tones. I think a lot of the shades in this palette would not work for dark skin tones. There is a lot of kick up in the pans. That doesn't bother me, but it does bother some people, so I'll mention it. Yeah. I don't know. I think the deep shades, I know I've only used this one, but this one swatched really well, and this one looks like it would also work really well. The, like, array of very, very, very pale tones makes it a bit more difficult. I kind of wish they had a bit more mid-tones. I wish this lilac shade was more pigmented. That would help. I also wish this shade here was a bit more pigmented. I imagine this shade here will be the same because they sort of seem to be the three mid-tones that they have in here, but they are all still very, very pale. Then the pale pastel shades, again, I know I've only used two and it's only been the pinks. I'm not too sure about these two purple shades. They just don't do a lot. Like I said, I think you can see them more in person than on camera, and I think once I have like my blush on, which will be very pink, it will bring out the pink in my eyeshadow a bit more. But yeah, I think out of all of the Beautybay £20 palettes that I've tried, this one is definitely not my favourite, and I would say it's definitely in, out of the 6 I have, it's in the bottom 3. It might even be my least favourite, to be honest. What I'm going to do now is do my base. I'm going to speed it up. I do have a few products to test. For example, I have a new shade of Blush made by Mitchell. I've never used this shade before, but it's the shade Cold Heart. Like I said, I have the blush palette to test. I also have a couple of lip products that were very kindly sent to me that I'm going to test as well. But the rest I'm just going to skip through and we'll just stop when we get to those bits. So let's do that. Now we're going to put on the Made by Mitchell blush in the shade Cold Heart. I'm not going to lie, this sort of shade scares me. I'm not really a pink blush person anyway. I don't have very many of them in my collection. I tend to go more like peachy or more like yellowy orange, burnt yellow sort of vibe. This isn't just a pink, this is a cool toned pink. So I am terrified. I'm going to get my brush ready because I don't want loads of this like stuck on my face. Oh, that's so bright, but it matches the eyes relatively well. After saying I was terrified of it, I put loads of it on my face, which I'm not mad at. What I've sort of done with this, which I don't always do with every blush that I test, is I've taken it right up under my eyes and I've blended it right up into my eyeshadow, which I don't always do, but I feel like for this look, because I've got pink on my eyes and I've got pink which I'm not used to on my face, I feel like going sort of quite intense with it makes it look more intentional and makes it look like I actually wanted this, which I do. I quite like how it looks. I think this technique is called blush draping, where you sort of blend it all the way up onto your temples, all the way into your eyeshadows, which I do most of the time anyway. I always pretty much take my blush up onto my temples. I just think it suits me better. I think it suits my face shape better. I also just love it. I like how it looks. So yeah, I also take it onto my nose and my chin, which I always do. I quite like it. I also took it quite far under my eyes, but only with the smallest amount, because I know that the pale pink under eyes is like a bit of a trend at the minute, and I quite like how it looks, but I don't like going too ham on my own face. I do actually quite like the colour. I don't think it's as bad on my skin tone as I thought it was going to be. I do have quite, in my opinion, a neutral undertone, so I can sort of sway more warm or cool depending on how I feel. I will say I have tested the Made by Mitchell blush formula before, so I know it is blendable, creamy, easy, buildable, all that. I will say this shade is quite pigmented, which I wasn't expecting. I don't know why, I just thought that with such an intense colour, it would be a little bit less pigmented so that it was more buildable. But it actually went on quite pigmented. I did put a lot on, like I said, even though I said I was terrified of it, I put loads of it on. And I like how it looks, so I'm not mad at it at all. We're back. This is very stop-starty. I don't know how I feel about it. But now we have to test the Zoeva Sweet Glamour blush palette. It has 3 shades in here, 2 pinks and a white. I will swatch them all for you. This is the shade Sweet Escape, Ideal Love, and Interpretation of Dreams. Not a big fan of the names. Yeah, I think that middle shade and the two pinks are going to work quite well. The white, it's not even shimmery. I don't know if it's, oh, maybe it is a little bit shimmery. Is it meant to be a highlighter, blush topper? Who knows? But I'm going to just simply mix the two pink shades. You cannot get this palette anymore. I don't know what happened to Zoeva, or Zoeva, I don't know how to pronounce it. But they seem to have dropped off the face of the earth. They sort of got rid of everything they'd done and they're starting fresh. But I haven't really seen much from them since. So I'm just going to dip between the two. It's actually not as pigmented as I thought it was going to be. Still going to tap it off. Put it on my nose, my temples. That's actually really, really nice. It is sort of like pastel-y. I'm just going to dip into a little bit of the pink, the lighter pink, and just bring it slightly further in to sort of match the blush. I like it. If I'm being completely honest, the pink is throwing me off because I never, ever normally have pink blush. But I think the amount that I've got on is a lot. But I do like that, and I will say it looks more intense on camera than it does in real life. But I do like the effect it's giving, the whole, like I said, the blush draping or whatever it's called, I do like. This is quite nice. Yeah, I've heard good things about the brand, but this is the first thing I've ever tried from them. I do actually have a mascara from them in my test drawer, but I've never tested it. Yeah, shame that they don't make this stuff anymore. I don't actually know what they do make anymore. I think most I've seen from them is some neutral palettes, which I'm obviously not interested in. Hello. But yeah, maybe I'll try them in the future if they come out with anything a bit more interesting. I know that people did really, really love their old palettes. And actually I did have two that I bought at TK Maxx, but I'm pretty sure I put them in giveaways because I heard the brand was closing down. So yeah, maybe I'll test them in the future, maybe not. Let's carry on. Okay, now to do the lower lash line, I'm going to keep it simple and just go for the purples again. So let's quickly do that. Starting with Glove. Now going in with Lilac. And then I think the last shade I'm going to go in with is the shade Handkerchief, which was that slightly darker pink that we added in later. And then I think to make this look a little bit more sort of like obviously pink, because I think the pink is kind of lacking a little bit because it's not as bright, I'm going to go in with the shade Confetti, which was the pink that we swatched, and I'm going to put that along the inner like third of my lower lash line. I did also intensify the shade Pillow a little bit on my inner corner as well. I'm still not loving this look. What I'm going to do now is go off camera and do my mascara and my waterline colour, and then we'll come back and do a lip. I always cut the waterline bit out of my videos because I don't like watching other people do it. I assume I'm not the only person, so I'll come back, we'll have some mascara on and a waterline, and then we'll do a lip together. I am back. We are very, very nearly done, but I do have some lip products to test. These were very, very, very kindly sent to me by the Beauty Crop. I have a lip liner and a lip oil. These were sent to me in return for a review. The review doesn't have to be in a video, I just have to review it on their website. But I thought I might as well test them in a video and then write my review based off that, because I'm actually going to keep this makeup on for the rest of today. I'm only going to my boyfriend's house, but I'm going to keep it on for the rest of the day, and I can see how they wear. So the lip liner is the Lipped Cream Intensely Pigmented Long Wearing Lip Liner, and I got the shade Mocha. I was able to pick my shades, so I picked this one. Ooh, I do like the packaging, it's nice and black, and I like that you can see what colour it is on the end. It's quite hard to open, there we go. Lip liner, sharpenable, let's put it on. I've put that pretty much all over the lips, apart from like the centre. I love the colour, that's the main thing that I've noticed. The colour is perfect. I have a lot of dark brown lip liners. What I really wanted was some lighter brown lip liners. This one is perfect. It's pretty neutral, maybe slightly on the... Actually, I think it is dead on neutral, because I was going to say that it's slightly warm, but then I look at it and I'm like, oh, it's actually slightly cool, but I actually think it is bang on neutral. So the shade is perfect for what I wanted. The formula is not as creamy as some of my other lip liners. I have creamier lip liners that I really like. However, I'm hoping that because it isn't as creamy, it might last really well. I do like it. It's one of the better lip liners I've tried. It's not the best. And I think to make it better, it would just need to be that little bit creamier. But it's definitely not the worst. It's not scratchy. It just sort of pulls on your lips a little bit, but not loads. I actually quite like that. Like I said, I will wear it for the rest of the day and then write my review on their website. There was no obligation for it to be a positive review either. It was an honest review, so my opinion is in no way affected by the fact this was sent to me. And then we have this, which is the Lip Cream Hydrating Lip Oil, enhanced with jojoba oil and vitamin E. I got the shade Bubblegum, which is a pink, which I don't think will match perfectly with this lip liner. I love the packaging, but I think it will work quite well with the look. The packaging I actually really, really love. It is a bit big actually. I'm just going to check to see if it fits in my lipstick holder. It doesn't fit in my lipstick holder. This is my lipstick holder that sits on my desk, and I have one behind me as well, but it does not fit. And if it doesn't fit in this one, it won't fit in the one behind me either, which is a slightly annoying point, but it is what it is. I do like the packaging. You can see the colour at the bottom. I kind of wish the entire packaging was the colour of the lip oil. Also, this is a really minor thing, but the Beauty Crop is written on the top, but it's like raised and it feels lovely. Let's put this on. Lovely big doe foot, like all brands seem to be doing at the minute. It does have a scent. It's a nice scent. I don't know what it is, but it smells lovely. It feels nice. It's very thin. I was worried it was going to feel more like a gloss than a oil, but it doesn't. However, I don't think there's much pigment to it. I've kind of ruined the doe foot because of the lip liner. But if I put that on my hand, there's not really much pigment to it, so I don't think the shade really matters that much. But it does feel really nice. Really thin, really nice. Not thick, not sticky. It does feel really nice. I've not done my lip liner evenly. I will fix that before I leave the house. But I do quite like it. But there we go. What I'm going to do now is go off camera, straighten my hair, make myself look a little bit more presentable. And then we can end this video on a plus point. There we go. I look a little bit more put together. Not that there was anything wrong with how I looked before, but I am leaving the house today. Let's do a quick run through of everything that I've tested and how I feel about it. First of all, the eyeshadow palette. I've spoken about this enough, so it's going to be really brief. Not my favourite. The formula is fine, like the shades work, it's the colour selection for me. I just wish they were a bit brighter, and yeah, that's really it. The shimmers worked absolutely fine. I actually really like the shimmers. I just wish it was a bit brighter is the only thing, but obviously they went for a pastel palette, so I can't really complain that much, but I'm going to anyway. What else did I test? The new Made by Mitchell, well, it's not new, but the Made by Mitchell Blursh in the shade Cold Heart. I do like it, however, what I'm going to say is I think my face looks a lot less blended than it normally does. So for example, like my bronzer and my highlight, even though I picked quite a cool toned bronzer, almost like a contour, to sort of lessen it a bit because I knew I had such a cool toned blush, they don't look blended together. My face looks a little bit more sort of stark than it normally does, because normally I go for like an orangey, brown, neutral sort of blush. The blush and the bronzer blend in together a lot better. So part of it is I'm just not used to seeing it so cut and dry, but it's not a big deal. I don't think it looks terrible. I just need to learn how to bronze with a pink blush, which is absolutely fine. The shade is Pigmented, blendable, really actually quite a nice shade. It's just not going to become my everyday, obviously. Then the blush palette I tested from Zoeva, I actually quite liked. I don't know how pigmented it is because I did test it on top of a liquid blush already, but I do think it works quite nicely. I don't see the point in the white shade other than to maybe be a blush topper to mix with the other two. I do think they worked quite nicely. For a pink blush, I did quite like it. They're very soft as well, very buttery in the pan. Shame that this has been discontinued and you can't get it anymore, but I did quite like it and it will get used. The lip pencil, I do like. I love the shade of it. I think the shade is perfect. I do wish it was a little bit more creamy, a little bit more easy to glide onto the lips, but I'm hoping it will last quite a long time. And then the lip oil I actually really like. When I was downstairs straightening my hair, a bit of my hair got caught in it, but I just pulled it out and it's fine, and I still have it all over my lips. And obviously I've been doing stuff, moving my lips about, and it has lasted pretty well. I wish it was a touch more pigmented because I don't think there's really any pigment to this at all. Even though it looks pink in the bottle, it doesn't look pink on me. And I do wish it was a touch more pigmented. But other than that, I do quite like it. Nice, thin feel, really nice. Did I test anything else? I don't think so. So there we go. That is my video testing the Beautybay Love Notes palette. Let me know what you think of it down below. I feel like my review is a little bit negative. However, I am trying to be a little bit more, like, actually pick at things a little bit. I can't remember what the word is. But I actually want to give you guys like a full, thorough review, not just me sitting here going, yeah, this is nice. I actually want to point out the flaws and point out the good things in products. So I feel like it was a bit more negative, but that's just because I feel a bit more negatively about the palette. And I feel like an honest opinion is more important. So yeah, let me know down in the comment section what you think of the look, what do you think of the blush, do I suit pink blush? I have gone for a pink t-shirt to match it. I have a black long sleeve shirt underneath because it is cold. But yeah, let me know what you think. Like I said, I'm trying to decide what I'm going to test next year, so let me know if there's anything you want me to test, any brands you want me to test. But other than that, I will let you go. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up a video every Saturday and it's always makeup related, so if that's the type of thing, then this is the place for you. Other than that, have a great day, an amazing week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!